Hey guys, it's Richard, CEO of altFINS. In today's trading video, I will take a look at ApeCoin, symbol APE, which went ape over the weekend with 100% gain in really just one day, Sunday, yesterday. And I'll take a look at, first of all, what caused it, and second of all, what to do next, and how to trade it from now on. Where would be my entry point, perhaps, and also take a look at what were some signs, perhaps, that preceded this massive breakout that we could learn from and that we could use perhaps to spot similar situations in the future. All right, so let's go ahead and dig in. I'm here on altFINS screener. First of all, the market continues to grind higher. Really, since the low on August 5th, we've seen Bitcoin and altcoins, most altcoins, grind nicely higher, and with lots of bullish breakouts from falling wedge and channel down patterns that we've highlighted on our technical analysis section. And as you can see, just in the last week, Bitcoin is up 8.5%, Ethereum is up 9%, and so on. In fact, if you go to our research hub under research and look at our most recent market update, it's a nice summary of what's happened in the market last week, but also what's ahead in terms of some of the macro events up ahead, like Fed rate cuts or Fed rate meetings, and so on. But here we can also see the performance of the top 50 altcoins, I believe. And as you can see, we've had mostly gainers last week. Bitcoin Cash was up 17%. Some of the meme coins like Bonk and Flocky that we've been bullish about are up 17, 15%, and so on. And at the bottom, just a few altcoins that finished the week in the red, including Sui. Now, Sui has had a massive gain in the last, maybe over 100% in the last few weeks, but it is now facing some stiff resistance at the current level. So we've actually had a neutral rating on it more recently. Okay, so this is another place where you can find some information about the performance of the market in the last week or so. But let's get back to the topic du jour, which is ApeCoin. All right, let's go ahead and find Ape. All right, it's right here. Okay, as you can see, in 1 week, it's up 122%. Really, most of it was gained yesterday or last, say, 2 or 3 days. Let's take a look. Zoom in here. Right. Here you go. And you can see the trend, particularly the medium trend, term trend, is now up, clearly up, as the price is broken above the 200-day moving average, which is one of the indications of an uptrend when the price crosses above the 200-day moving average. But let's also look at the technical analysis here. At this point, we have a neutral rating here because we believe it's overbought. Let's take a look at what's happened here. Right, so here's the falling wedge pattern that has really had begun in April, when the market peaked, and that was basically followed by just series of lower highs, lower lows, basically signs of a downtrend, and we were waiting for the price to break out of that downtrend and indicate trend reversal, and that happened sometime in here is August 5th, which is kind of the low, and then the breakout happened a couple of weeks later in late August. And as you can see, since then we've seen some higher lows, higher highs. So that was the first indication that the trend has reversed from down to uptrend. Now, the other indications that I should have paid attention to, but I didn't catch this one, to be honest, is that the price on the 18th, so actually let's open up a live chart here. Okay, right here. On the 18th here, right, the first bigger green candle, that was a Saturday, pretty big gains here and on significant volume, right? As you can see, the volume, most of the days were barely, just tiny. And then it spiked up in terms of volume. That was on Saturday. That was still one day before the massive gap up, okay? So I think already on Saturday, some people knew something was happening, something was coming, because the big news really was announced the next day on Sunday. And in crypto markets, there's a lot of insider trading, trust me. And so I think that already on Saturday, there was some people in the know, and that created a couple of things. First of all, the price broke through at the time it was a resistance at 87 cents. As you can see, this 87 cents level was a resistance as far as back as late July. It got rejected there again in September, again in October, right? So this was a stiff resistance. So when the price did pierce through that, that should have been an indication for me that there's something going on. I should have set a price alert for that level. And I'll show you how to. It's really easy to do that, in fact. So in the future, if you go to the alerts tab, you can just say, okay, I want to be notified when the last price is above, right? And I should have said 87 cents here. Oops, 0.87. Added a note and set an alert. Now, obviously, hindsight 2020, it's too late now. But I'm just saying this should have been one of the clues for me. The other clue was that the volume, as I said, there was a pretty significant increase in volume versus the prior average. And there's another way of detecting such situations that I'll show you in a minute. But what caused this major spike? It was an announcement. So if you want to know what ApeCoin is about, right, it was basically a governance and utility token that was started. This project, basically, the backers of this project is the Bored Ape Yacht Club, the Bored Ape Yacht Club. If you ever heard of them, you should. They are huge. They're basically the most successful NFT project or NFT minting or collection project. And if you remember all those bored apes or images of bored apes, well, that was their project, and they are behind the ApeCoin project as well. And since really a year ago, in January of 2023, I believe, they set out to build what they call the ApeChain, which is basically a layer 3 based on the Arbitrum network. But the point is that they launched that and announced the launch of that on Sunday, which was yesterday on the 20th of October. And what that allows, the launch of the ApeChain, it allows basically development of the entire ecosystem based on this project or the rails, this blockchain. It opens up developers, the opportunity for developers to mint new NFTs, to build DeFi or decentralized finance projects on top of it or applications on top of it. It allows them to create trading applications, but also it allows them to stake and earn passive staking yield by staking the ApeCoin, Ethereum, and also stablecoins. So I think this could be actually one of the sort of major benefits near term is the actual staking and earning of yield for those who own Ape, right? And it also opens up other sort of DeFi application and incentives using ApeCoin. So there's a myriad of things that this opens up, and then clearly it's to be seen if it actually works out. But the initial reaction from obviously the traders and investors is that this has great potential, and I want to own it and stake it perhaps as well. Now, what do I do at this point, right? If I miss that trade, or even if I caught it, honestly. I feel like at this point, um, my personal opinion is that gaps get filled. So if you look at this, right, if I extend the time frame or time horizon to 1 year, right, this is a massive move. I mean, one day, almost 100% move. This is a major gap, and gaps get filled. That's kind of the rule in trading, that big gaps get filled. What does that mean? That means that typically the price reaches a point where, with 100% or so gains, there's going to be some profit taking by many traders, locking in some of the profits, and that means selling and selling pressure that I think will mean that the price will come back or pull back to a support level where I want to buy it. Okay. And so where is that support level for me? First of all, also noticed that this at this point the asset is significantly or very overbought. If you look at the RSI at 14, the RSI level is at 88. Anything above 70, so RSI, relative strength index, it's a range bound between 0 and 100. If it's really low, below 30, it's oversold. If it's above 70, it's overbought, and that typically means that there's going to be some selling in the near term, and the RSI will probably come back. So it's very overbought at these levels. I do think there's a very high chance that the price will retreat, pull back as the profit taking takes place, and that will give us an opportunity to jump on this uptrend, because the asset is in an uptrend on a medium-term basis. So I like buying things that are in an uptrend. Trend is your friend. Trade with the trend is the old adage. And so I'm now looking for an opportunity to get involved. And where do I get involved? So if you look back at the technical analysis again, right? Where's the closest support level? Closest support level, I think, is around $1. Okay, previously this was also resistance level, but it's also where in the past, you can see right here the price reached a low level here and then bounced up, and it's also where the 200-day moving average is, and that 200-day moving average can also act as a key level, either a support level or a resistance level, right? When the price is above the 200-day moving average and it comes back to it, then 200-day moving average acts as a support. And it's nice that the 200-day moving average is at 95 cents. The horizontal support level is at $1. So when those two line up, it gives me a little more, it gives that support area a little more robustness. So, it's a long ways from where the price is now. I could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't come back as far as I think, or where I want to buy it, but I'll be patient. I don't want to chase it here. Maybe it goes a little higher, but I think it's very risky to be chasing it. It's not my style to be chasing big gaps like that, big moves. I know there's going to be profit taking here, and so I tend to buy these things on pullbacks. So I'm going to wait for a pullback to $1. So I'm going to set up an alert to let me know when price dips below, let's call it $1.10. Okay, pullback in uptrend, maybe a buying opportunity, support at $1. All right, so that's my alert. When I get an alert, either here on the platform, under the alert section, or on my mobile app. If you haven't downloaded the mobile app, you should. You can also get alerts there. And also I can receive an email with that alert as well. I'll know what to do. And I'll show you an example of gaps get filled. That reminds me of a situation with Hedera hash graph or H bar. Let's take a look at the bit of a history here. Okay. Let's extend that to 1 year. Okay, check this out right here, right? Also, massive move here. There was an announcement that had to do with BlackRock asset management potentially using Hedera Hashgraph for one of their products. But basically, the price went from, what was this? The low of 9 cents to the high of 16 cents. So almost 100% increase in one day. And look what happened afterwards, right? It drifted back to basically where it all started. May not happen here again. So far, it's acting a bit better than Hedera Hashgraph did, the day following the big move. But still, I think, like I said, there's a good chance that we'll pull back and give us another shot at to getting involved. Um, so another thing that I wanted to mention in terms of potentially catching or getting ahead of some of these major moves, there's two things that occur there, right? One was the resistance breakout, okay? The other one was that there was a significant increase in trading volume, on and on an up day, right? If you recall. So the way to filter on the screener for such situations, there's two screeners or screen filters that we have. One is here, it's called unusual volume gainers. So when I select that, that basically looks for all assets that have had an 100% increase in their average trading volume versus the prior 20 days, I believe, average, and that they're up on the day. And as you can see, ApeCoin is on this list again. Let's look at the charts. Okay, so let's zoom out a bit. Zoom in. Okay, so here, Cosmos, pretty significant uptick in trading volume versus the last 20 or so days, right? But going back to ApeCoin right here on this day, now Saturday, right, 2 days ago, also a pretty significant increase in volume versus prior 20 days history. Here's another one, Axie Infinity, big volume increase 3 days ago. Looks like we've got some follow-up strength as well. Okay, look back here at Mina, a nice increase in trading volume. Okay, similar to Woo Network, pretty big increase in volume here on an up day and so on. So this could be one of the signals or indications that there is something cooking here. And if that's also coupled with a break through resistance, that could be significant, right? In all these three cases here, you can see that resistance from prior high has been broken here. Prior high, swing high was broken here, and prior swing high was also broken here. So there's those two things line up for those three coins as well. And there's more on the next page and so on. The other thing I also wanted to show you is that you can also potentially keep an eye on the events and news. So if you go to ApeCoin events, you can see that there was an announcement made on the 19th about ApeChain release and also user incentive program. So we actually have we track some events that are coming up or occurring. You can also look at the news. And then lastly, I mentioned, if you want to really explore the events category or the events section, you can go to events on the Research Hub and explore it here. So either using coin name and see what's going on, or you can also check what kind of significant news is or events are coming up, right? So this is the release date and this is the event date. You might wanna sort of you might wanna rank it or sort it by event date, okay, to see what's coming up, All right, so here's a render. I'm not sure, you can read through that, some award related news. Or if there's a certain news category that you're looking for, like a change in tokenomics, or which could mean, let's look at tokenomics. That oftentimes means that there is some unlock coming up, like this one right here on Athena. There's an unlock coming up with Carat. All right, so this could be useful to keep an eye on as well. Maybe some of these are in your portfolio or watch list. And then in terms of the releases, right, this is what ApeCoin they had actually had released. I believe this was yesterday. ApeCoin right here. Here are the two releases, incentive program and ApeChain release as well. So this could be also a tool for you to find some upcoming, potentially market moving events and catalysts. All right. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and I hope that you are able to take advantage of the full power and features that altFINS offers for you to find and discover trading and investment ideas. Please keep in mind that this video was for informational purposes only, not meant to be financial advice, and do your own research. Thank you and good luck trading.